Hello.
Hello, Tiffany.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you
I'm
doing?
fine. I had a medium-sized margarita.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up to you with my Manhattan in the wrong glass. I didn't use the coupe. I used like the wine glass, but
That's
it's still
fine.
crystal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody will judge. At least I
Hmm.
wouldn't. Um, yeah, no, that's good. We went out to dinner and I was
Nice.
like, we had a long week last week and I was like, I just want a margarita. And they were like, it was happy hour and they're like, would you like the large for $10? And I was like, oh, 32 ounces sounds like a lot of margarita. Maybe I'll go medium. And it was still
A big
huge.
a big gulp of yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so even that was like, oh boy. But that was like 2 hours ago, so I'm kind of just,
Yeah.
tired now, but
No, which is
I'm here.
well, I'm glad. It actually segues kind of nicely into tonight's topic, which
Oh,
is about
there you
being
go.
a tourist in your own town, and
Yes.
going out to dinner is one of those things. So,
Awesome. Very cool.
um, yeah, but I did you know that the staff at the Louvre closed down the museum in Paris yesterday because they were overwhelmed and they're thinking of going on strike?
No.
Yeah, like at the height of the start of like serious tourist season, they're like, the museum is closed.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Which is
and
very
this
feels
is
very
yeah,
French. In a
it
good in the best
is
way. They're like,
like they
we
probably
refuse.
yeah, and we're gonna set a car on fire in the
Yeah.
main plaza there for no, but there's been a lot of news in Europe about protests about over tourism. Like in Barcelona, they're
Yeah.
starting to spray tourists with water guns.
Which is
And
like the
there's,
least like I don't know, that just seems very gentle compared to what could
yeah,
happen, but
yeah. But, there's been protests in Lisbon and Venice
mhm.
and kind of all over. I mean, most tourism is domestic, but they have some valid complaints about Airbnbs and like investment properties are driving up the cost of living, so it's like impossible to live. Also, over tourism, which we covered in season 5 a little bit when I was talking about eco friendly hotels. Like, Machu Picchu is, falling down. They've Venice too, is they started charging a fee for tourists to just enter the city at all because they're being worn away. These historical landmarks that are really hard to upkeep.
Wow.
And so there is something to be said for that. And then, this is kind of the summer of tariff scare.
Mhm.
So Americans are like kind of holding on to their money. We're all a little worried about recession. We're all also riled up about geopolitical concerns. There's unrest. I mean, Ukraine is not far from Northern Europe.
Yeah, totally.
Israel is in Tehran right now. That's terrifying.
Mhm.
And also, there's a negative perception of Americans out there that's pretty palpable. So, more Americans are, well, we'll see. We're going to get into statistics about that, but it might be a good summer to kind of stay home, you know?
Yeah, not
And
go
so,
international.
yeah, yeah. But as someone who lives in a city that is basically overrun by bachelorette parties looking for a bar crawl and barbecue, I also have been known to roll my eyes at tourists and tourism. But in reality, being a tourist in your own town is one of the most joyful experiences you can have.
Oh, lovely.
So, as summer gets underway and you consider where to spend those 10 precious days of PTO, let's talk about the joy of playing tourist in your own town.
Oh, very cool.
Welcome to Greening Up My Act.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right.
I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I think this was one that I was like, I don't know how much I'm going to write, and then I wrote like 10 pages of notes.
Yeah,
So
it's funny.
I am very excited about it.
Yeah.
Um, in terms of sources, I did use sources. So I had an article from the New York Times about the Louvre, ABC News about U.S. travelers amid anti-tourism protests in Europe. Global Rescue had some stuff about U.S. policy shifts impacting American travelers. The Points Guy, who sells credit cards, had a travel survey from they did a joint survey with the the Harris company, and then Vox also had some tips on how to explore your city as a tourist. And I listed stateparks.org just because that's a good resource. So,
Nice. Very cool. Yeah.
yeah.
Ruby was whining at me, so I was telling her
Oh, I
to get
see.
out of here.
Right before we started recording, both of my dogs busted in the door and were like, "What are you doing, Mom?" And I'm like, "Nothing you're interested in, I assure you." Yeah.
Quite boring.
But yes, I assure you. But we did touch on, again, the impacts of travel with climate change in season 5 when we talked about airplane travel and eco-friendly hotels and, of course, eco-friendly luggage, which was
Mm-hmm.
hilarious. But also a few weeks ago, you talked about the joy of shopping locally.
Yes.
Um, so this will overlap with that a bit.
Very cool.
But yeah, I wanted to give a couple of stats about traveling today.
Okay.
So some travel stats. The Global Rescue article said that 72% of Americans believe they'll face negative sentiments due to American policies when traveling abroad.
Whoa.
Yeah,
You said
um,
72?
72%.
Dang.
So, yeah, almost 3 out of 4. And I think we've had a lot of thought pieces and a lot of, you know, news organizations saying that, you know, people have gone to Canada and been accused of being Trump's best friend, I guess. I don't know. And that, you know, the policies that are taking place are ours, which is true. Although that doesn't mean Americans aren't warm and friendly and lovely people who will spend their dollar bills in your
Or agree.
establishment. Yeah, or that we all agree.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's interesting because I remember that happened when George Bush II was in charge, and I went to the
Yes.
Middle East. But it was different. It was like I was nervous, and I was actually like, maybe I'll tell people I'm Canadian, but I never
Yeah.
did because when I told people I was American, they just wanted to like talk to me about it rather
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
nobody was like aggressive or
Yeah.
blamed
I've
me. So
I've never had someone try to mess me up because I was American. You know, maybe take advantage of me for being a stupid American and
yes,
being gullible.
yes,
Yes.
100%.
But not it was always in a friendly manner, you know.
Right, right.
But also, the U.S. government has also elevated travel warnings for several countries, including Spain and Portugal,
Huh.
because of these anti-tourist sentiments. So there is, it's not just, you know, there's a lot of also anti-Chinese tourism because
Mm.
Chinese Japanese people do a lot of tourism, which I think you would find to be true in the U.S. too. People don't love tourists here in large groups,
Yeah.
but interestingly, according to the Points Guy, this new Harris poll found that Americans aren't really undeterred in traveling in spite of economic uncertainty. So this summer or this year, more than 3 in 4 Americans plan to travel. And roughly 7 in 10 Americans intend to travel domestically,
Okay.
which I think is an important point.
Yeah.
And a little over a quarter plan to travel internationally. 32% plan to travel more in 2025 than they did last year, and about 42% plan to travel about the same.
Oh,
So only 9% of people expected to travel less than they did in 2024.
wow.
Um, they do say that the current economy has affected their travel plans. So over half of Americans say that. 20% say they're going to travel less than they originally planned, or they're going to shorten their trips because of economic uncertainty. 14% said that they have postponed or canceled or postponed plans because of the economy, and about 25%, well, we already said that. 30% indicate that changing U.S. foreign policy has affected their international travel plans this
Oh, well,
year. So
that
that's
is
one in
not
3 people.
surprising.
Yeah,
Sometimes I'm like, you really want to travel overseas right
I know. Like, is this the time?
now? Yeah.
I have 2 trips, international trips planned, and I'm like, gonna
Have you
have to
gone
postpone it.
overseas? Or maybe not just overseas, but international since Trump was in office?
You know, I haven't. I think
Huh.
it was last year, the last time I went.
I just wonder if customs is different, or if it feels different,
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah. Um, and again, more than half of people who are going to travel internationally in 2025 say that U.S. foreign policy has affected their international travel plans. So it is having an effect. People are still planning to travel, but it's changing how long they're going, or, they might be postponing a trip to see what happens, or they might, you know, go for a different location than they might have originally.
Yeah.
So,
It's not
I mean,
surprising.
yeah. Mm. But we did also have some statistics from previous episodes that I wanted to bring up. Because we are a green living podcast, we do know that international travel's impact on climate change, 11% of global emissions come from airplanes. And 81% of that is from passenger travel.
Yeah, okay.
Only 10% of the world's population will ever take a flight. That was a stunning number that we found.
Yeah, I still think about that sometimes.
Yeah. And 1% of emissions can be traced back to hotels.
Okay.
Which is not huge. Unless you look at like the law of large numbers, 1% of billions and billions is quite a bit.
Right.
Still. All this to say, there's never been a better year to act like a tourist in your own town instead of boarding that flight to Barcelona.
That's fair. That is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are good reasons. I mean, I know international travel, it's been so important in my life, and there are ways to do it mindfully, and sustainably. Again, traveling in coach on a flight is so much better than taking a private plane and all of those things. There are steps you can take, to get overseas without being a complete monster. And when you get there, be a mindful tourist.
Yeah.
Look out for, locally employed people, don't be the blatant American who I remember, oh my God, the first summer I went and visited France, we were in the big Galerie Lafayette, which is the big, shopping department store in Paris, and they had closed down their cafe, and this American man was yelling, "I just want a Coke."
No way.
And it was like, yes. I was like, did somebody hire him to do that? And the Parisian girl behind the counter was just like, mm-mm. No, monsieur. Like, would not speak English with him, like, absolument pas. Non, je veux pas. It was so,
Oh my God.
I was like, this is why Americans have a bad name overseas.
Right.
But, yeah. So I have a list here now of why staying close to home is a good idea. Okay.
Okay, awesome.
Number 1, it's cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need a hotel. You don't need a plane ticket. You don't always need a car. You could take a bus, you could walk, you could ride your bike. And often local attractions will offer local discounts.
Mm-hmm.
Like Meow Wolf in Santa Fe, if you have a New Mexico driver's license, they'll give you $20 off your ticket or something.
Okay, what's this?
Meow Wolf?
What's that?
It's an art collective
okay.
experience. There's
cool.
like 5 of them throughout the country now, but it started in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Okay.
You have to go to one of them at some point. There's one in Denver. There's one in Las Vegas. There's one in Grapevine, Texas here. Yeah, they're all over the place. It's the original one it's really funny. Like last summer we were going to New Mexico for an experience, and Sean and I were going to be we got into Albuquerque, and then we were leaving the next day for this. I have to tell you about that some other time, but
yeah.
The lightning fields, which is the whole thing. And I was like, okay, we have about 4 hours. It's an hour drive to Santa Fe. We can go up to Santa Fe and see Meow Wolf and maybe have 2 hours, 3 hours there, and then come back before we have dinner with my parents. And there was traffic the whole way up, and it took us 2.5 hours to get to Santa Fe or something, which is mind-blowingly bad. It's usually like 55 minutes,
Oh, wow.
And Sean was like, well, it's an art museum. What am I going to care? And then we got there and he was like, oh, like you could spend 7 hours here. It's not an art museum. It's an experience.
Oh,
like
cool.
which different artists were all given rooms, and they created this immersive story. And, every room is a different part of the story. They're all very different, but there's like,
a theme.
It's interdimensional is what it's supposed to be.
Cool.
And
they're all different?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
They meld well, but it's like there's a treehouse, they took a bowling alley and built a house inside of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So it's really awesome. Yeah. Okay. So another reason is it's probably going to be safer for you because you know your city better. You know what neighborhoods should be avoided maybe at night, or you know people that you can call. You know, also you're less likely to be targeted, to be pickpocketed if you're a local than if you look like a tourist.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have your head on your shoulders a little better in your hometown than you are in Paris or, you know, Barcelona, where you're just like, oh, wow,
Wandering.
you know. Yeah. Um, Also, you could probably go when it's less crowded. If you live locally, you can visit attractions when other folks can't, like Tuesday nights or shoulder season, which is non-tourist season,
Yes.
right? So they won't be as crowded.
Which I feel like shoulder season is going to change or is changing already because of climate change. Really,
It's true because it's hot. Yeah,
who knows? It's like I
yeah,
remember when we planned our wedding for September, and that used to be like kind of weird,
yeah.
and then now it's like you can't have a wedding in July. You psycho.
No, oh my God. I
Or
Yeah,
even
there was
June a lot of times.
somebody had an outdoor wedding in Texas in July, and I was like, "Are you mad?
Jesus. Did you go?
Who's going to this?" No, no, no. It was
Okay.
somebody I was like, I didn't say anything. I think it was a friend of a friend, and I was like, "Good luck." But like, yeah, our I got married in October, and apparently the most popular weekend to get married is the third weekend of October.
Yeah, I think that's becoming way more popular.
I thought I was so alt and so cool, and then everyone had the exact same wedding anniversary. So
That's so
whatever.
funny.
But yeah, shoulder season is changing for sure. Another reason it's good to be a tourist in your own town is because it will make you happier.
Mm.
So the Vox article that I listed, it mentioned a study that said people who treat their weekends like vacations, like focusing on good food, being present in the current moment, having fun rather than doing their housework, are happier.
Oh my god. I have so many feelings about that. I
Yeah.
so believe it, and I so
Yeah.
struggle to get there.
It's hard. Well, especially, I mean, working from home, which you and I both do,
Uh-huh.
helps because you can do stuff, but you have a child,
Right.
which impedes. Like, I can throw a load of laundry in and fold it later and meal prep on a Monday at 11 a.m., you know?
Yeah. I mean,
And so
technically I can too, but it's hard during
yeah,
the
but you're also
workday.
working.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as easy as people make it out to be, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And so reserving your weekends for vacation, if you, if you can pull it off, you know, maybe like Saturday mornings or Sunday mornings are chore time and that's it, but you do them all in 2 hours and you
Yeah.
get it done, you know?
Yeah, that's a
And
good
then,
idea because even my evenings, like I have like 2 to 3 evenings a week, and
hmm
then a lot of times I'm busy on one of those. So it's like,
yep.
I don't know, maybe I could do stuff in the evenings, but then I'm also trying not to wake Charlie up, so I can't like
Yeah.
vacuum, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to, yeah.
But I do have a friend who grew up in Europe, or at least is like half European, I guess you could say. She very much is like, absolutely not. I will not do chores on the weekends. And she was like that when I lived with her like over a decade ago. And I asked her recently, and she's like, oh yeah, I still, if I can manage, then I do that. I'm like, I think that is so smart.
It is. I agree wholeheartedly. And it's something like Sean and I do, like Friday night is date night, you know, Saturday night. We usually have, I mean, that's another thing. We have people over rather than going out because
Yeah.
it's expensive.
Yeah.
But, you know, like weekends are for funsies. And we'll do lawn, you know, lawn stuff. But I do the laundry during the week,
Mm-hmm.
which he is, I think, kind of shocked by. He'll come home and I'm like, I folded all your t-shirts. And he's like, what?
Oh,
You know, well, it's the least I could do. He vacuums, you know, every night when he gets home. So,
dang. I
well, we have to with two
oh,
furry
right.
dogs. It
You
otherwise
don't
it's just
have
like
to. You would be surprised how
we
many.
do.
Well, okay.
You haven't met Archie or his. I mean, like you wake up in the middle of the night with the comforter and you're just like, and just this hairball. Like I have a permanent beard from Archie's hair, and also he has these long white bog witch hairs that
Okay.
it's like, what old lady witch moved into my house? And it's like you just pull them out of your, like every jar we have has a little hair, you know, like
Yeah.
we have to vacuum all the
Okay.
time, and I
Understood.
brush him, you
No,
know, a
I
lot
know.
too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I had a
yeah,
long-haired cat, and cats are obviously much smaller. But even
yeah,
she,
still.
we had cat fur balls everywhere. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I had a long-haired roommate, and then I have long hair, and
Yeah.
then a long-haired dog. The vacuum cleaner stood no chance,
Yeah,
you know.
totally.
So
Completely demolished.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, that makes you happier.
Yeah, okay.
So, and another thing, it gives you a greater appreciation for where you live,
Yeah,
right?
I totally agree
Most
with that.
most people kind of just take it for granted, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So touring your city can break you out of old habits, right? Introduce you to new friends and make you generally feel better about where you live. I mean, like, city pride's kind of great too.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us, I know when I was growing up in Albuquerque, people were like, this city sucks. And then it's like, actually, it's kind of great here. The weather's great. There's always parking. But on top of that, there's a lot of cool history. There was a woman once who was like, there's no culture in New Mexico. I'm like, we have the International Flamenco Institute. Have you been there? Have you seen that? It's not in Barcelona, it's in Albuquerque. So, like, the Hispanic Cultural Center is there.
Yeah, I was like, also, there's
The
a large amount of Native American culture.
huge. It's only an hour drive to get to like really well curated tours of still lived in pueblos where people have
Wow.
lived for 1,000 years.
That's
Like,
amazing.
and the archaeological stuff it's like that's all been trashed in the rest of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool and so underutilized, as a tourist attraction for locals. So
Which is maybe
anyway,
a good thing. That's maybe why it's not just trashed,
well, to
but
some extent. I mean, no, because my understanding of a lot of the history of Native American interactions with Anglo-Saxon peoples has been that they literally, well, and Hispanic, the Spanish too,
yeah.
literally trashed trashed their towns and stuff. I
Mm.
mean, the Acoma Pueblo, which is one of the really good ones that they have tours that run that don't interrupt like their daily life, um, their church, they made the Pueblo people build the Catholic Church on site, and they made them bury their dead in the walls so that they wouldn't tear it down. Like, yuck,
Whoa.
and yeah, they used to cut off part of the foot of all the adult male Pueblo men, so that they couldn't run away
Oh my
from. I mean, there's
god.
a lot of like that's horrible.
Yeah.
Like they trampled on religious sites and culturally significant areas, but in New Mexico, there are still people living on lands that their ancestors lived on.
Right.
And like in Oklahoma, that's not true, or Texas even, the reservation, and it's not always true. There are a lot of people were moved. I don't know. I have we can talk about it later. I have very interestingly mixed feelings about a lot of things that happen because I think horrible things that happen also, I don't know. I shouldn't talk about it. There have been there's a really interesting exhibit at the Heard Museum in Phoenix about the Indian schools, as they were called, which
Yeah.
is where they sent Native American children to be re-educated, right? And a lot of it was really awful,
Mm-hmm.
forcing them to speak English and forcing them to be Christian, and but it also became a source of pride for a lot of these young people to represent their tribes in these gathered places and also to be educated, because not every American citizen was given that up. I mean, there's like a mixed bag,
Yeah.
and a lot of it was terrible, and there were awful things that happened, but also like human beings can make good out of even
Yeah.
awful things.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so
totally.
it was a really interesting, because most, I think, as white guilt liberals were just like, everything that Americans have done to, or Anglos have done to populations has been horrible, and that really takes the nuance out of how human beings are,
How
you know.
how much perseverance people have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and adaptability and goodness human beings have, even when bad things happen to them.
Yeah.
You know? So, I don't know. It's a very... Okay, probably on that note, I need to take a drink and we should probably take a break.
It's like you could learn all that by touring locally.
You can. Coming up next, tips for being a tourist close to home.
All right.
Join us after the break.
Perfect.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
So a lot of this I gleaned from the Vox article, but also just my own experience. So, caveat, I travel a lot and for work. And that means that I have learned how to be a tourist who's there for a reason other than being a tourist.
Yeah.
So a lot of this is stuff that I use if I have to go someplace for work. I also do these things.
Yeah.
And I want to apply it to my hometown, or this is not my hometown. I did not grow up in Austin, but it's something I need to apply to when I'm home as well. So just say. Okay, so number 1, think like a tourist. So look at Yelp, right? Travel Advisor, Google reviews, tour books, local guides, sites about where you live, and see what kinds of stuff people around you go to as tourists, right? So there's the obvious ones like museums and parks, historical sites, restaurants where the tourists go for restaurants, you know. Go to your local tourism office or the website. I know Visit Albuquerque is excellent to see what's popular in your area. They usually have like a calendar of events, you know, Balloon Fiesta is a big one in Albuquerque. There's usually a reason tourist sites are popular.
Yeah.
I mean, they appeal to human beings. You can also book a tour guide. So one of the coolest things I've ever done was taking an evening tour of the Palace of the Governors in Santa Fe. And it was like a locals get in free kind of thing. And I took a French friend from New York who was in town visiting, and we did a tour of the Palace of the Governors, which I had been to in 8th grade. Like, we did a whole year of New Mexico history in 8th grade, and there was so much stuff I just didn't know about this building that was built in 1610, you know? And the curator was so good.
Oh, that's awesome.
So they offer tourism things for locals at most of these places.
That's
but
very cool.
Think like a tourist. Where do the tourists go? You go too.
One thing I really want to do, I just listened to this other podcast. One of my favorite podcasts is National Park After Dark. And
oh, yes.
they're so good. And they just did an episode on Harper's Ferry and Harper's Ferry ghost tours.
Oh, okay. Just wait. We'll get to that.
Oh, my
but
God.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's only like an hour away from me. And I'm like, can I plan a date night? Oh, my God. Yes. So, anyway.
Especially
Joe would
if...
hate it, but...
Would he?
He
okay.
gets scared, but...
Oh, does he? That's so cute.
I know.
I think Sean is just like, I'm not scared. But I freaking love ghost stories.
Yeah,
so. Yeah. Okay, another tip. Do stuff that you would do on vacation. So when you are planning your trip to Paris, what are you looking for? I'm a museum hound. I love museums. I love history. But I also like checking out cocktail bars. Like, where are the locals drinking? I like good food. Food trucks, you know, street food is huge for me. Like wine tasting, I love like things that are local to the area that I'm going. So why wouldn't I do that here? Sean loves architecture. This is all stuff we could look at in Austin, you know?
Oh, you know what? It just reminded me of where I grew up in Indiana. It's Columbus, Indiana. It's really close to where I grew up. But for some reason, a bunch of architects moved there, like really famous architects. Yeah. And last time we visited, a couple times ago, Joe and I went on like an architecture tour of one of these houses that was from the 1950s, and it was like built by an architect, and it was so cool.
Yes.
And
oh my God.
I lived there my whole life, and I'd never done it, and I was like, this is the neatest thing ever.
It's one of my favorite things when people, there's a really famous architect in Albuquerque, and he has built a couple houses in the area, and two of them are like right in the middle of Nob Hill, and they're called the Spaceship House. And like driving by and be like, look at the Spaceship House. Do you see the Triceratops out front? Yeah, he decorates that with Christmas lights at Christmas.
Oh my gosh.
Bart Prince built that house.
That's awesome.
So yeah, yeah. Another tip, make an itinerary. So most tourists have some kind of daily checklist that they go through. Like, I'm going to see the Eiffel Tower, I'm going to see the Louvre, I'm going to walk the Champs-Elysees, right? So do this for your town. Don't just be like, I don't know, what am I going to do? Like, make an itinerary. You make room for spontaneity, obviously, but this helps you plan what kind of transportation you're taking. If you're going to park somewhere, what parking is like, you make reservations, buy tickets in advance, things like that. Know the opening hours of the museums you're going to.
Yeah, and closing.
When you're a tourist, you know that. If it's your hometown and you're like, I didn't know they weren't open on Monday.
Right.
It's like, make an itinerary.
Yeah, that's fair.
Another idea is make a bucket list. So this gives you a sense of accomplishment and helps you organize your tourism plans. Other than an itinerary is the day of, right? A bucket list is, what's all the stuff around town I want to see? I started a list with Sean of like, let's be a tourist in our own town. And I started a list of all of the things we could do. And then you can group them by neighborhood and then make the itinerary from there. So it's like Google Maps, you can make a really great feature that helps you keep track of places. I like to do that. Like, I have made those for friends who have come to visit me. Like, here's all the local places that you can check out.
How do you do that?
Well, I'd have to give you a step.
That's fine.
Maybe I'll make a reel on Instagram about how I do it.
Okay.
Or something. You just make a list.
Okay.
And you add places to it.
Okay, so it's like one specific list for like a person that you can send to them.
You can make them public.
Okay.
Too. So that's a way that a lot of people have shared like walking tours.
Okay.
Is they make these lists and then they're public
cool.
and you can look at them you can search them on Google.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Maps. The Google Maps app is kind of like, I made a Google map of my, like a road trip I took across the country 3 years ago.
Oh,
and I
neat.
just had every city in it. But I would also save like the places that I went and I could share that with Sean and he could look at it, whatever.
Oh yeah, you took a really long one.
It was 3 months.
That was awesome.
Yeah. It was, yeah. Yeah. With my good dog. I couldn't do that with these dogs. They would have heart attacks. But it'd be cool to do it again. I mean, it wasn't van life. I stayed in Airbnbs and stayed with friends. But,
yeah, well, same idea.
Another idea is follow museums or historical sites or other things on social media to see what events or expositions they have upcoming that can help you add to your bucket list. It's like, oh, I want to see the Rembrandt exhibit when it comes through the local museum. Another idea is start with a neighborhood or a theme. So if you live in a larger city, there are probably neighborhoods with their own distinct characteristics, right? Like Chinatown or Little Italy or, Albuquerque's got Old Town and the International District and Nob Hill. Pick a neighborhood, look up a few things that you'd like to see there, and then head over. Or make it a theme like, I want to see the museums that relate, or the historical sites that relate to an event that happened in my hometown, Pick a theme. Another tip, plan to walk it rather than drive it. So this gives you a better chance to see stuff than driving.
Yeah.
You might have to drive somewhere and park and then walk. Public transportation is also a great idea, or biking. Also, it just slows down so that you can stop and look at things. It won't work in unwalkable areas, obviously. But you can drive to more walkable areas too, And then look with a tourist's eyes all the time. So this was something like change your perspective. One of the people in the Vox article that I list mentioned that they started examining the architecture of the buildings that she passes on her commute in the bus, which is like, yeah. So like read up on the history of your town or neighborhood and see what important events or people have stories there, and then like make note of it.
Oh yeah, that is cool to do. I want to do that too because there are books that are written about my town And like apparently Babe Ruth like got married here or lived here. I don't know, something about Babe Ruth.
Wow, yeah.
I don't remember exactly what he did here, but yeah, it's like stuff that you wouldn't really realize. And then
Yeah, you just take it for granted because it's down the street.
yeah,
And then you're like, oh yeah, like JFK honeymooned here. Or
right,
something. You know, like,
yeah.
I mean, like, one of the things that was really interesting when we moved here was the street has a very specific name. It's named after a person. And we were like, God, I hope that's not a Civil War general. You know, like, ugh. But it was the first pastor of the church 2 blocks down the road that he founded in 1937.
Whoa.
And they renamed the street after him in 1994.
Wow.
And like he lived 4 blocks away or something, but like that's really cool to know about this street, you know? So be it like live like a tourist all the time.
Yeah.
Look up, you know. You're gonna learn about like the neighborhood in Paris where you're saying like, oh, Ernest Hemingway lived here. Like, when did Ernest Hemingway visit your neighborhood? You know, or whoever.
Yeah.
But
very cool.
another tip: leverage your national parks, state parks, and city parks. So this is a big one. There are 63 national parks in the U.S., and I'm sorry to say that the Midwest kind of misses there's a whole swath of like nothingness in the Midwest for some reason. But there are also anywhere between 6,800 and 10,500 state parks or monuments.
Okay.
Depending on where you look.
Or
so
national
the state
forests
parks
are good too.
Yes. Stateparks.org is a great place to look. I think state parks are kind of underrated. People
Yeah.
kind of don't realize they exist. National parks get all the like,
Yeah, totally.
because there's only 63 of them.
State parks can be awesome though.
They really can.
Like I've camped in a lot of state parks and it's like great camping.
Or just hike. Yeah. And yeah, monuments and stuff too that you don't realize. Like in New Mexico, there's Coronado State. I think it's state monument. It might be national monument. Coronado State Monument is like all about Coronado, who came the first Spanish person to come through New Mexico.
Oh, wow.
And it's got like suits of armor and talks about like their Camino Real and everything. And it's like, oh yeah, there's a lot of history here. You know, 1539, I think.
Wow.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's way before my ancestors showed up in Massachusetts. So,
Right.
But you can camp, you can hike, you can see music, stargazing, ride a horse, you know. Also, like your local parks have events like music or food festivals too. I noticed on the road trip that I took, almost everyone I encountered in a national park was speaking a foreign language. So, like Americans, we don't visit our national parks the way that foreign people do. Probably because we don't get enough time off, but let's change that. Drive the 2 hours to, it's like 2 or 3 hours here to Big Bend, which is huge. I haven't been there since I was 9.
Wow.
And that's not exactly being a tourist in your own town, but it's a tourist in my own state.
Yeah.
And I should definitely do it.
Yeah, totally.
Another tip, ask locals for ideas. So when you go out, so there's this Instagram personality that I see because she's pretty and she makes cocktails. She asks, when she goes to a town, she asks the bartender at a bar what their favorite local bar is and what they drink there. And then she goes to that bar and orders that drink and asks the next bartender, what's your favorite local bar and what do you drink there? It's this really great segment.
That's smart.
Like, so
And then she's
if you go out
super
to
wasted. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, of course she is. I think she has a driver, and I think her boyfriend films it. But
Yeah. No, that
like,
is smart because they know.
they know.
Even
The bartenders
coffee
know.
people usually, like if you're into
That's what I'm
specialty
saying.
coffee.
Baristas.
Yes.
Baristas will tell you.
Oh yeah, they know what's
You're-
up.
Your server at the cool restaurant that you're at, be like, where do you go around here? You know, shopkeepers, librarians, like there are people with specialized knowledge hiding all over the place.
Yes.
If you go to a museum and you're like, where do you get dinner around here? They're going to be like, well, honey, you know, treat them as your local concierge.
That's
Okay.
smart. Yeah.
I will say with a caveat, in Austin, a lot of the folks at the trendy places are total sourpusses. It's like, who pissed in your Cheerios?
Yeah.
But if you get them if you're like, hey, what's your favorite local spot? They will tell you.
Yeah.
Instead of like, what do you like to make for a drink? They're like, fuck you. I don't like making drinks. That's like, but if you're like, hey, where do you drink? They'll be like, all right, we go to the Cavalier. You know, we go to wherever. So, and people like to talk about themselves. So
Yeah.
it's a great way to kind of get to know the people around you. And you're a local already. It's not like you're a tourist asking. You're like, hey, man, I live here. Where do you like to go that I don't know about?
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
So, okay. So these are like this next set, this next bulleted list is actual things I like to do as a tourist in my own town. So these are specific things.
Nice.
Not just tips, but specific things. And let's ghost tours. That's my
Oh
number
my
one.
God. Yes. I've never
Yes.
done one.
Oh man,
Can I come
they could
there
be.
so we can do one together?
Oh my God, I will totally take you for a ghost tour. And I know where they start. I went on one with my friends. I bought the guy's book when he was
Oh
done.
my God.
They can be so
I
corny.
know, but that's why they're so great.
They're so great. I love it.
I almost did one
they're
in
not for
New
everyone, but
Orleans, and I didn't. I don't remember what
cemetery
we did
tour.
instead. I think we did like an alligator tour, which was actually quite lovely. To like just like a swamp tour.
Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't have the funds because they're kind of expensive. But
Some of them. I mean, this ghost tour I took was probably $5. Or
oh,
something.
ours, the one we were looking at was like 60. And we're like, okay.
Okay. I mean, like if they buy you a drink, we went on a literary pub tour in Edinburgh. That was kind of a. Oh no, we did the ghost tour too. We did the ghost tour in Edinburgh, and it was like pubs that were haunted, which was
Oh,
cool.
so cool.
But they're in your hometown. There's definitely at Halloween time. There's definitely a ghost tour in your hometown, and that's awesome. Like we went on a ghost tour here, and one of my favorite bars. They have the best burgers in town. I didn't know that it had burned down in the early 1900s, and there's
Right.
a little ghost girl that they like leave toys for her at this little shrine upstairs, which I would never have known
Oh
about
my
until I took this
gosh.
ghost tour. And now every time I go there, I'm like, hey, let's get a burger and talk to Mary, the
That's
ghost.
awesome.
She's 7.
Yeah, my town is actually pretty old, so I'm sure
There's
there
got to be
probably
ghost
is a
tours
ghost tour. Yeah,
for sure.
cool.
Walking tours in general, I really like historical walking tours. That's ghost tours are a walking tour, but one of the things I actually do for myself is take myself on a walking tour. Like downtown Austin, most of the buildings on 6th Street have been designated as historical. They have historical markers, so they can't be torn down. Which is why there's like 5 blocks of 6th Street where everything is 3 stories or less
Oh, okay.
and not high rises, and they're all junky bars. But they all have a plaque on them about what it was when the street was Pecan Street. As like this was a grocery owned by so and so.
Wow.
This is a horse stable. And like just do the walking tour. Getting a tour guide is great because they can tell you things you don't know, but do it yourself.
Yeah.
Read the historical markers. Food tours.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you had that.
I haven't done one here.
Yeah, I've only done them overseas.
Yeah, like Istanbul has really good ones. But Ravi, my ex-husband, and we kept a list of taco trucks in Austin. And every Tuesday, we would take a bike ride and buy a taco
Nice.
from a new food truck.
Oh, that's
So you
awesome.
can do your own food tour.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's got to be some in Austin. Because
Yeah.
there are neighborhoods around here where there's like definitely food,
Yeah. I was gonna say in
barbecue.
Baltimore they have a Little Italy. There's a Little Italy in like most big cities.
Yeah, not here.
Yeah, maybe not
That I
most.
know of.
Okay.
I'm
East
gonna
Coast,
look that up.
maybe.
Yeah.
But like Philly, I think
we have
has
German.
one. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And I'm sure they have like food tours of those places. So
Yeah, and you can hire someone.
yeah, and it's
Be a tourist.
super fun.
Hire someone for $20. Take you and your friends out
Segway tour.
to places. Yes. Well,
Yeah.
next one was bike tour.
Okay,
That's next
okay,
on my
yeah.
list. So that's another thing you can find on Google Maps. People have created bike tours
Oh, cool.
of cities. So like Austin has like a bunch of murals that you can all that are a couple miles apart
Okay.
that you can. I'm your butter half, and go like take a picture. That's fun,
Nice day
Um,
out biking. Why not?
Yeah, go for a bike. Beer tours. This is huge. I've definitely done this in like Denver, Albuquerque, most cities in the US because liquor licenses are harder to get than like a beer brewing license. Most of them have breweries.
Okay.
So you can go to 2, 3, 4, 5 breweries, maybe hire a driver,
Yes.
get some friends together,
100%.
or ride your bike and, go on a brewery tour. It'll show you different neighborhoods. Talk to you. There's definitely you can hire the brewer to take you on a tour of the brewery and like give you a beer tasting and tell you about the different
Mm-hmm.
beers. Like that's fun.
Yeah, we did
That's a
that
lot of fun.
at Flying Dog actually
Yeah.
in Delaware. Is it Flying Dog? Yeah, that's where they're located, or they're where they're like first,
Yeah.
whatever it is. And it was so cool. And we actually stayed at the Flying. I think it's just called the Flying Dog Inn, but they made this sort of like, trendy. It's like an old motel, but they turned it into like a nice,
Of course.
trendy, overpriced place. But it
I
was
love it.
cute. And then you could take the bus to the brewery or whatever. So it was
That's
great.
perfect.
It was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun. Um, on the same line, wine tours or cocktail tours, same idea.
Mm-hmm.
We live an hour from Texas wine country, and some of our
Ah.
friends have memberships
Uh-huh.
at some of the wineries. So hire a party bus, go on a wine tour.
Yes.
You'll be surprised. Or even in your own town, there's probably tasting rooms
Yeah.
around.
Totally. Yeah, my cousin lives in Sacramento, and that's like quite close to like
Huge. Yeah, that's
California
wine country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they drove us around to a couple different wineries, and she knows what's up because she like brought us all, food. So like
Yeah.
salami and cheese
Yes,
and
I'm always like, we need the pate.
yes.
Get a baguette and the pate and some grapes, and
Uh-huh.
we'll call it a day, and some cheese.
Yeah.
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 You need it.
Yes.
Line your stomach for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great.
Cocktail tours. So this could be interesting if you live in a city that's got a high density of bars, like Austin is all drinking all the time, but centered around a theme. So be like, we're gonna have 3 of the best espresso martinis in Austin, and do the research and find out where they are, and then go to those 3 bars, hopefully within walking distance, and that's it. We're just gonna have 3 espresso martinis, which is a lot of alcohol, to be fair. But that's fun, that's a tourism thing.
Or one thing I like is like a nice hotel bar.
Yeah,
Like that would be
hotel
fun.
bars.
Yeah, like that would be fun because we went to one in Richmond for my bachelorette, and it was so cute. And, like just really well done and really fancy feeling, but not like trendy. Sort of like old school kind of vintage vibes.
Like a library.
Yeah, and it was
There's
so
some
lovely.
really great hotel bars out there. Austin. There's a joke about one of the hotel bars here that like got revamped, and they're like, their signage looks like the Cheesecake Factory, and like. But I love a hotel bar
Yes.
in your local town.
Plus,
like
a
even
lot of
just
hotels
like
are clustered together. So if you wanted to do like
Yes.
a hotel bar tour, I think that would
Yes.
sound kind of fun.
That's a great thing. I love hotel bars, and usually, I mean, you might drop $15-20 on a cocktail, which is a lot.
Yeah.
There's like in Durango, Colorado, one of the hotels there has like a happy hour for people there, and you get 2 drinks, and they have like the best margaritas, like, and you can smell the hotel pool, the indoor pool, like the chlorine,
Yes.
because it's Durango. It's not like New York, or,
Uh-huh.
But I love hotel bars,
Yeah.
and you can meet some great people
Yeah,
there.
totally.
Art museums, obviously, historical sites. Okay, another idea, bookstores. So we talked a few weeks ago about the joy of books. Like there are independent bookstores throughout the US that like we just forget about. So map out a few and make an afternoon of it. Bakery tour or coffee shop tour. I can only eat so many croissants in a
Yeah.
day. But, have 2 or 3 bakeries that you go to.
Yeah, or get
and
a,
like
why can't I think of the name? The little ones. The little long, delicious
eclair.
pastry that's crunchy. You dip it in coffee.
Biscotti.
That's it. Good Lord.
Yes, you could have your coffee at one, you could have your lunch at another, and you could buy a baguette for dinner,
Yep.
Or just find like the local specialties and like compare them,
Yes.
Okay, holiday light tours.
Oh my God. My favorite thing ever.
They are the best. In New Mexico, there's like luminarias, which are paper bags with dirt and candles in them.
Oh, cool.
But they line the whole street, and like
Wow.
whole neighborhoods will set these up. And there are walking tours you can do in the South
Oh
Valley,
my God.
in the North Valley, in Old Town. It's gorgeous. Or there's like houses. There's a house in somewhere in Northeast Albuquerque that I have never been to that is like It's like the Bradford House or something that everybody goes to at Christmas time, and I've like never done it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, but it's like a thing,
Yeah.
like here, I think 35th Street, everybody just walks 35th Street, to see the lights because all the neighbors participate. That's
Mm-hmm.
huge. And it doesn't have to be the like pay money for the, it could be the free walking tour. Make your own hot chocolate, take your kid
Yep.
and bike it, walk it, beautiful, wonderful.
Yeah, we actually did like a drive-through tour like
Yeah.
that, which is so much easier with a kid. Oh my god, it was
Oh,
so great. You
100%.
just strap her in.
Yeah.
She had such a blast, but it was cool because it
Yeah.
was like a local arena. It was like an outdoor arena, and they let you drive through the arena, like somewhere you would
That's
never be
cool.
able to drive
You're like,
otherwise.
where am I?
Yeah, and they set
Yeah.
up like crazy amounts of lights, and it was like a 30-minute thing. It was great.
And it's only meant for locals.
Yeah, yeah,
People aren't flying in to
yeah.
like go on the Luminaria tour.
No.
Yeah.
Although I
Yeah.
did also go to like a really cute little town in like very small town in Ohio with my family a couple years ago because it was like meet in the middle from Indiana.
Yeah. You're like, where's
Yeah,
where's the middle here?
it was
Ohio.
like very small
Highly
and
recommend
it was
Ohio. But yeah.
cute. Yeah, and they had the most adorable town center light show that I've ever
Yeah.
seen. It was like these people they've had to have been doing this for forever because
And
they
it's
had
their
this
joy. It's their
stash.
pride and joy.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Like when we drive from Austin to Albuquerque, there are definitely towns where it's like that park that has some work put into it,
Yes.
and like I wish we weren't just driving through because I would like to be here for their like light parade,
Right. Yep.
or the tree lighting ceremony is
Uh-huh.
another thing. Albuquerque has like 4 of them in the different neighborhoods.
That's
Like
cute.
Old Town has one, and then they light the tree, and then there's like they close all the streets so that pedestrians can walk. Same in Nob Hill, and like all the shops are open late. It's like
That's
drive that
so
economy.
cute. Yeah.
But yeah, it's so much fun, and in like you're local,
Yeah.
and
I really
it's
want to take Charlie on like a Polar Express train because there are a bunch of trains around us and they do like a Polar Express.
who licensed that is the company I used to work for. So
Oh.
that's owned by the Durango Silverton.
Oh, very
people.
cool. Okay.
They own the license. Yeah, the Durango Silverton is the original Polar
Oh
Express.
my god. That is so cool.
Yeah,
That's awesome. I don't know if they call it.
if you want to go.
No, I think some of them do call it Polar Express, but
If they call it the Polar Express, it has to be licensed. But there is a whole bunch of like North Pole
Yes,
Train,
yes,
yeah, which is like copyright infringement.
right,
but,
right. Oh
I
yeah,
mean-
and it's like the exact same things that are in the book.
Yeah, they're like, here's the hot shot, here's the bell, here's the yeah. But there's also there are tourism companies in your town. Like I used to date a guy who owned a trolley company in New Mexico, and they did tours like Breaking Bad tours.
Oh,
There's
cool.
movie tours. Like buy the ticket to the bus tour of your town.
Mm-hmm.
And like check out that open top red bus that like drives around. Like what are they doing?
Yeah,
What are they seeing?
totally.
Like what are you missing?
Totally. Or like duck boats in DC. I think
Yes.
they have like big duck
They
boats.
have them here
that
too.
You can,
Yeah, it's the duck
and
boats.
it's like, oh my god, I want to be on there and just like see what it's like,
I should probably apply to run one of those things. Though they don't pay enough, but it's like I love that. I love that. And you learn so much again about your town
I know.
that you live in.
And yeah, you're
that-
right that you just appreciate it more.
Yeah. And then so this is a tip that I guess I skipped earlier is use your visiting friends as an excuse
Yes,
to do tourist
that always
stuff.
helps.
Yes. I forgot to list that as a tip. Okay, my last idea, and I would be remiss if I didn't plug this, is hashing.
Ah.
So the Hash House Harriers are an international drinking group with a running problem that I've been a member of for 15 years. And they will show you your town. Some of them run more, some of them walk more, some of them do more off-road, some of them do more pub crawl. But every week it's a different route. This definitely, even I grew up in Albuquerque and I hashed there and I was like, I have never seen this neighborhood before in my
Wow.
life, And same in Austin. It's like, I would never have found this trail. I would never have been in this neighborhood. I would never have seen this bar. I would never,
Yeah. That's cool.
So, like, hashing isn't for everyone because it's really sacrilegious and crazy, and it's based around drinking. But there are, join a run club or a walking group or, birding is huge. Yes. And you will meet people, which is the bane of our current existence, is that we don't talk to enough human beings. We talk to ChatGPT like it's our best friend, which it is not.
No.
So, yeah, go be a tourist in your own town this summer.
I love it.
Coming to a theater near you.
There's also one thing I did with my friend is there's in Capitol Hill in DC, and I'm sure other like older neighborhoods do this. They have people who sign up their houses as tours.
As tours, yes. There's the great house tours. Yes,
Yeah.
the homes of Albuquerque or the homes of Austin,
Yeah.
and you can just go look at these $1 million.
Yeah, it was like
$2 million
$15 for a ticket for the whole day, which is great,
And maybe you get a little strawberries, a little charcuterie.
Right. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. I used to be better about in DC. It was easier in DC because there's so much going on.
Yeah,
but
there is always something going on in DC.
But there are really good lists of like even free stuff going on. Or I think the Washington Post had like newspapers gather
the free
stuff.
paper.
Yeah,
there's always a free paper.
Yeah.
Like the Austin Chronicle here, it's the Albuquerque Alibi. They have a calendar. Well, the Alibi I won't talk about, but like there's lists of free stuff. Find it.
And even if it's like a little expense, it's worth it. So,
but $15 is less than a $1,500 flight to Paris.
Yeah, totally.
To get sprayed with a water gun by, even if you're like, hablo español, and they're like, fuck you, tourist.
Right.
Like,
Yikes.
you don't have to learn it. That's another tip I didn't say, is you don't necessarily have to learn a new language to be a tourist in your hometown.
Or do with jet lag.
You might. Or jet lag. Okay, there are a bunch of benefits. You don't have to pack.
True.
Or understand what the current rules of the TSA guidelines are.
One thing though, I do want to do is spend like a night in a hotel in DC.
Yes.
Just for fun.
That's another thing. Is you can go on it's always something I love to do. Is before Airbnb existed, bed and breakfasts, because they're run by the people who live there.
Yeah.
So like if you stay at an Airbnb where you share the space or do couch surfing.
Oh yeah, I couch surfed all over Europe. It was crazy.
Yeah. So, but then you get to know a local.
It was like
and
the
so
coolest thing ever. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to rent out one of my rooms on Airbnb, and I'm like, I live here, and you're gonna have my dog, but like, all these potential med students came and like stayed at my house, and I could like tell them, I'm like, here's where you should go.
Yes.
And here's what's cool. Here's where not to go.
They'll give you a bike to borrow if you want. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like just so many. So much.
I had a hot tub.
Yeah.
It was pretty swanky.
Yeah.
That house was pretty clutch. But yeah, like, do a shared stay in a nearby town on Airbnb and like meet someone new. Because at least with like Airbnb and Vrbo, they have to have a background check. I'm not saying it's completely safe all the time.
Yeah.
And couch surfing too. It's a lot safer than just like finding a guy on the street and be like, can I stay in your spare room?
Yeah. Although there was a documentary, and I realized this shit happens like no matter what, it's gonna happen. But there was a documentary that was like from a couple of years after I was in Italy and couch surfing all over Italy with my friend, where this guy was drugging women, even if they were together, even if it was like 4 of them, he would just drug them all and then like assault them or assault one of them or whatever. And everybody was so, drugged up that they kind of just forgot. Like they didn't have a memory. So I was like, holy shit. I was like in that country like right around that time. So
yeah, I had more people stay with me as couch surfing than I ever stayed with somebody.
Yeah, I did that too until I had a really bad experience. But it, like I said, people are people.
It's rare.
People are gonna people. So
yes, people are gonna people, and it is. You got to remember, more people are good than are bad.
Yeah, and oh my God, we had the most incredible experiences of our lives. I went mostly with one of my friends there that you can't recreate. Like sitting around a dinner table with Nonna, with all generations.
Nonna, la nonna.
Yeah, and like being able to actually converse with her, and you could tell that she just like so appreciated it. that we weren't just some dumb, not dumb, whatever, but like some passers-by that were just like,
Right.
we're here to actually learn this stuff.
We're here to hang out.
Mm-hmm.
We're not here to just spend money
Yeah.
and be entertained.
Right.
And that's the other, I guess, tip I would say is like, don't just be entertained. Like, joy isn't just dopamine hits from TikTok
Yeah.
videos. Like, it's in-depth experiences where you like
Connecting. Yeah.
and even when it's bad, it's good.
Yeah.
You know, you can have a really shit experience at a local,
And then you have a story.
but it's like, and then you laugh about
Yeah.
it. Yeah. And like you, especially if you take someone with you, it's like you got the human experience going on. And that's enormous.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, my
So-
bad experiences with couch surfing were like pretty minor. Just like, I can laugh about them now and it's more annoying, but
Yeah.
it's like, what's wrong with people?
I know. People are weirdos.
Yeah.
And they don't clean up after themselves.
No,
But
they
yeah.
don't. But
Yeah.
again, yeah, we like when we were in Palermo, we just hopped on the back of these guys' scooters and they
Yeah,
scootered us
oh my God.
around the
I
city.
did that in India.
Yeah.
I did that in India. And I was like, this is how I'm going to die. Is going up when he ran out of gas.
Oh my God.
And he filled up a plastic water bottle full of gas and then filled his. And I was like, oh, this is how I die. Is on a mountain in India on the back of a. And it was fine. And it was
Yes,
awesome.
yes.
And like we still follow each other on Instagram
Right.
and it's great.
Yep.
You know, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's.
But you can do that in your hometown too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. I like it. Yeah, I like that idea. Some people are so good at just meeting new people. I am not really necessarily that way, but we've been out at, a diner actually once. That was at night, so it was sort of like, nighttime or whatever. But this guy next to us just started talking to us. He was like instant best friends with all the waiters and wait
Yeah.
staff. And he started talking to us. And then he was lost. He was like he wasn't from there. And so he was just like completely lost. And we tried to help him and tell him where to go. And then he walked the exact wrong way. Like we watched
You're like,
him.
no.
And so we followed him. We're like, you're going the wrong way. And he's like, okay. But we I don't know. It's just funny how people are really good at just making friends and just being so open.
It's practice.
Yeah, you're right.
Remember, you are not naturally bad at anything. You just haven't practiced.
Yeah.
So if you want to be good at talking to people, you start by talking to people.
Yeah. That's true. And start small.
And
Probably.
someday I'll be really good at Google Analytics. I just got to start practicing.
Great.
Someday.
Oh,
Next week.
Google. Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so that's
Cool.
being a tourist. I mean, I realized as we were going through this that you and I were both talking about like we're in Palermo and we're in Paris
Right,
and
right.
we're talking about staying home, and that's again #goals
Yeah.
for me is to do that, to apply the same things that I do when I travel internationally or to a big city to do to my town.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. To appreciate, and I do try. I try to learn the history of where I live. I try to be a tour guide myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I've always prided myself on. But like, yeah, I want to be. It plugs you into your local community.
Yeah, totally.
And in another way.
Even just like for me we went to that farm the other day.
Yes, like you were saying.
Yeah,
Yes.
like if we had this goal, like an informal goal of going to every farm in the area eventually by the next
Every
year.
weekend.
Like it's so
Yeah.
fun and it's so good for kids.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
And I love it. So
Yeah, I need to make Sean get me out of the house because that's the other thing. I'm a real homebody right
I know.
now. So
I feel ya. It's hard these days.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. Well, all right. So next week.
Yes, I'm going
What's-
to talk about the joy of community gardens, but I'm also going to expand it somehow, and I'm not sure exactly how yet. But
It's gonna be a rehash of season 4 or whatever. That was The Great Outdoors.
kind of, yeah. But I
A
think I
revisit.
might focus on hobbies too. I don't know.
It's good. It's a wild card.
Yeah,
Next week's a
yeah,
wild card.
but-
It's our last one of the season.
It is.
So we will do season 8,
Whoa.
which is gonna be about groceries are too damn high.
Yeah.
But we don't have a release date for that yet. We'll figure it out next
Yeah,
week probably.
we will. Probably after the summer.
Probably in the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
Early fall.
baby needs a break.
Yes. We tie it.
We tired.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's all. I had
Awesome.
something and it's out of the brain.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Margarita is seeping everything
Yeah.
out into that. I know my Manhattan has hit me, and I'm like,
Yeah, it's all in my feet.
"Hola." Yeah, yeah, basically, my swollen ankles. Yeah. We will be releasing a Patreon episode soon.
Yes.
Probably before this one comes out, actually. But yes, so subscribe on Patreon if you haven't already.
Yes, please.
It's $5 a month, which is less than Spotify,
Yeah, way less. Isn't Spotify like $15 or some shit?
at least.
Ugh.
I know. I kind of want to cancel my Spotify.
I only have it because we use my brother-in-law's, so.
Yeah, Sean added me to his YouTube account, and it's like I just don't want to rebuild all my stupid playlists on another platform.
Know.
But
I know. Shoot. I wanted to get rid of my Amazon Prime, but I think it's close to being my due date for that. It's in June sometime.
Well, you can cancel it anytime. They'll prorate it.
The problem is my brother's on my account, and now he relies on it, so I have to somehow
Ease him off of
transfer it over.
Yeah, and I hate to admit that not only has Sean planted a full lawn in our backyard that he waters, but he has signed our TV into his Amazon Prime account.
Well. You can't control others.
I still won't order from it.
Yeah.
I won't participate, and I won't go to Whole Foods.
Yeah, you can't control others.
I can't die on that hill.
Yeah,
exactly. I can't impose my morals on other people.
Exactly.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Very hard.
I'm actually surprised about you, Sean. I'm just kidding.
No, I mean,
I'm just kidding.
You got to think for the ease, he orders our dog food through there. I get it.
I know.
And his sister's on his, he shares. That's the great thing about him is this is not just one Amazon Prime account.
Yeah.
There are 4 people using this Amazon Prime account.
Hey, maybe that could be my justification, but it's freaking $140 a year or something. I'm just Jesus Christ.
But if you think about it, split between 5 people.
Yeah,
Jeff Bezos is getting less than if all of you were subscribed.
I never make my brother pay me, so he offers, but I'm just not gonna make him.
That's really sweet of you. I hope you write that into your will that he has to take care of your
$70 per year for the rest of your life. Yeah.
By the way, yeah, because I was so nice to you. Well, here's another tip: accept when people offer you to pay you back.
Well, fair.
I'm really bad at that too. I'm like, oh, I don't need it, and then it's that was $120
that
I don't have.
Yeah, he gets me a lot of other stuff,
Yeah, that's the thing. I love not being tit for tat.
Yeah, totally.
I love just being I'll get you next time. I'm planning a girls' trip to my hometown. Well, Taos, New Mexico next weekend, and it's I'll buy the drinks. I got the hotel with my points. We're all just what can we
What can we contribute?
I'll pitch in if you need it. Just ask me. But we're not making a spreadsheet.
Right.
And it's fine.
Yes.
Yes. Somebody might come out $20 cheaper than someone else.
Right.
But we don't care.
Yeah.
And and I totally respect people who have to keep those spreadsheets.
Yeah, I do too. It's just kind of nice to not it's the energy saved is worth the money spent.
Yeah.
So in my mind, but yeah.
And I really like being generous to my friends in a way that is really bad for me.
Yeah.
So
Same.
it only works if we're all generous in the same way.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed. All right.
Okay. Play the theme music. Let's get out of here.
people.
We got beds to get to.
1 hour and 8 minutes. Oh my God. Longest probably episode ever, maybe. I don't know.
Let's keep talking. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Well, this is fun.
Can't
yeah.
stop now.
Find us on Patreon. Find us on Instagram. And we love you and enjoy your hometowns.
Yes, I'm excited now. I'm going to go look
Yeah.
up some stuff. Because we have a long weekend coming up with the child.
We
so
do.
I'm going to find some stuff to do.
Perfect.
Alrighty. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Bye.